The Baltimore Ravens have had a roller coaster season, and it's hard not to feel the tension when you watch the way this team has performed under pressure. Observing practices, analyzing each game, and seeing how everything comes together, it becomes clear that talent is overflowing on this roster, especially with Lamar Jackson at the helm. There's no denying his ability to transform a game, to take control in the moments when it seems like all hope is lost. But even with that kind of talent, the reality of the schedule and the matchups ahead makes you wonder if the Ravens can truly finish strong. Beating a Green Bay team in Green Bay with Lamar dealing with a back contusion is a monumental task. And then heading into Pittsburgh, a place where historically Lamar's teams have struggled, adds another layer of complexity. The Steelers are formidable, and they've already proven they can challenge the Browns, who were competitive against the Bills but ultimately came up short. So, when you step back and really assess the landscape, the optimism has to be tempered with the hard reality of what lies ahead. It's the point in the season where fans and analysts alike start to shift focus, not just on the present games but on the implications for the offseason. And that's where the conversation gets even more interesting. Looking ahead, the Ravens have critical decisions to make about their roster, their coaching staff, and the future of players who have proven themselves indispensable. Lamar Jackson's contract situation looms large, and while there's no question about his talent, structuring a deal that works for both the player and the organization is a delicate balancing act. Meanwhile, the Pro Bowl announcements offer insight into which players have stepped up and which contributions have truly made a difference. Kyle Hamilton, Patrick Queen, Roquan Smith, Tyler Linderbaum, Zay Flowers, and Jordan Stout all earned recognition, and each of them has played a role in the highs and lows of the season. Jordan Stout, in particular, has emerged as one of the league's top punters, demonstrating consistency and skill that has quietly made an impact on field position and overall team strategy. Meanwhile, Lamar, Mark Andrews, and Derrick Henry as alternates show that even among elite performers, competition is stiff, and recognition often reflects more than just stats. It reflects moments, influence, and how a player shapes the team's identity. The fifth-year option system adds another layer to roster management, especially for players like Zay Flowers, who is entering his fourth season and has reached the threshold where accolades and performance can significantly increase his guaranteed earnings. The financial implications are substantial, with Zay now positioned to potentially command a fully guaranteed contract in the high 20s in millions, a number that not only reflects his production but also his leverage at the negotiating table. These decisions are complex because they tie directly into salary cap management, roster flexibility, and long-term strategic planning. Paying a wide receiver at that level is unprecedented for the Ravens, but the reality is that Zay has been the driving force behind the passing game. His dynamic playmaking ability, route running, and chemistry with Lamar Jackson make him an asset the team can't easily replace. The question isn't just about whether he deserves the money, but about how the Ravens structure a deal that rewards talent while maintaining the flexibility to build a competitive roster around him. Comparisons to other elite wide receivers across the league put his value into perspective, showing that while he may sit in the lower tier of the top-paid receivers, his upside and potential trajectory could easily elevate him into higher brackets. With the right development and team support, the thought of a Ravens offense without Zay Flowers is almost unimaginable. He has been central to the team's passing attack, and without him, the burden shifts heavily onto Rashod Bateman, who has shown flashes of talent but has yet to fully establish himself as a consistent threat. Bateman's struggles reflect broader challenges on the offense, including offensive line issues, quarterback injuries, and a lack of continuity at key moments. The combination of missed opportunities, fumbles, and dropped passes has prevented this receiving duo from reaching its full potential, leaving fans frustrated and eager for clarity on what the next season will hold. It's a reminder that football is not just about individual talent, but about synchronization, timing, and the ability to capitalize on the opportunities that arise on the field. When everything aligns, the Ravens can be a dominant force. When it doesn't, the gaps become glaringly apparent. Criticism of the team's performance has been relentless, and voices like Ryan Clark's, reflecting on the Ravens' current toughness, underscore the perception that this team has struggled to maintain the resilience that once defined the franchise. Clark's observations highlight how opponents no longer approach Baltimore with caution, instead walking into the stadium confident and assertive, knowing they can exploit weaknesses. Turnovers, fumbles, and lapses in decision-making have compounded these challenges, painting a picture of a team that has underperformed relative to expectations. The season has been a cycle of highs and lows, where moments of brilliance are often followed by missed opportunities, leaving fans and analysts to reconcile the potential of the roster with the reality of its execution. Wins against formidable opponents show flashes of the Ravens' true capabilities, yet losses at critical junctures reveal lingering inconsistencies that must be addressed moving forward. For the coaching staff, particularly John Harbaugh, accountability is central. The expectation to match high-level performance with strategic clarity falls squarely on leadership. Questions about what went wrong, why critical plays were mishandled, and how to rectify systemic issues cannot be met with vague answers. Every decision, every adjustment, and every approach to building a resilient, competitive team will be scrutinized. Particularly as the offseason approaches, fans are looking not just for wins, but for tangible signs of progress. And the pressure to deliver is intensified by the high stakes inherent in professional football. Each roster move, draft decision, and contract negotiation will ripple through the season that follows, making the offseason as critical as any playoff run. As the season winds down, the questions about the Ravens' future grow louder, and the spotlight inevitably turns toward the offseason, where every move will carry enormous weight. The roster has shown flashes of brilliance, but consistency has been elusive, and that has put the coaching staff and front office under intense scrutiny. Evaluating the team's needs, it becomes clear that the trenches demand attention, both offensively and defensively. The offensive line, despite some standout performers, has struggled to provide Lamar Jackson with the protection necessary to consistently execute high-level plays. The defensive line, meanwhile, has shown moments of dominance, but has often been neutralized by teams with quick adjustments and depth at key positions. These gaps have made the Ravens' path to success more complicated, and the off-season decisions regarding free agency, draft strategy, and contract negotiations will define the trajectory of the franchise for years to come. In this context, Zay Flowers' situation stands out as both a challenge and an opportunity. His fifth-year option, now fully guaranteed at $28 million, forces the Ravens to confront the delicate balance between rewarding top-tier talent and maintaining flexibility for the rest of the roster. Zay's performance this season has been the backbone of the passing game, and while turnovers and occasional lapses in judgment have raised eyebrows, his overall contribution cannot be overstated. His ability to stretch the field, create mismatches against defenders, and consistently make plays under pressure has elevated the entire offense. Pairing him with a complementary wide receiver would not only alleviate some of the pressure on Zay, but also provide Lamar with more dynamic options in critical moments. The reality is that replacing a player of his caliber is nearly impossible without significant investment in both draft capital and free agency. The conversation around his contract is not simply about numbers. It's about preserving the competitive edge the Ravens have fought to maintain over the past several seasons. Meanwhile, Rashod Bateman's development continues to be a focal point for the coaching staff. His talent is evident, but translating potential into consistent production has been an ongoing challenge. Injuries, missed connections, and a lack of continuity at the quarterback position have all contributed to his uneven performance. Yet there is optimism that with a full off-season of preparation, better chemistry with Lamar, and support from complementary pieces on the roster, Bateman can step into a more impactful role. The Ravens front office will need to evaluate whether adding a veteran presence alongside him would accelerate his growth or if investing further in the draft could yield a long-term solution. These decisions are compounded by the salary cap landscape. We're balancing high-value contracts for elite players like Lamar and Zay against the broader needs of the roster requires meticulous planning and strategic foresight. Looking beyond individual players, the coaching staff faces critical questions about philosophy and identity. The Ravens have historically been known for toughness, resilience, and an ability to win in challenging situations. Yet this season has revealed cracks in that identity. Losses in pivotal games, blown leads, and missed opportunities have left fans and analysts questioning whether the team has lost some of its competitive edge. Leadership from John Harbaugh will be paramount in addressing these issues, not only in terms of tactical adjustments but in fostering a culture where accountability, preparation, and execution are consistently prioritized. The ability to respond to adversity, to play with discipline and focus when stakes are highest, will define whether the Ravens can return to the level of dominance expected by their fan base. Off-season strategy will inevitably revolve around key positions that have underperformed or remain uncertain. The offensive line must be reinforced, whether through free agency acquisitions or high draft selections, to provide Lamar with the necessary protection and open lanes for the running game. On defense, adding depth at cornerback and linebacker could enhance flexibility, allowing the team to adjust schemes against diverse offensive threats. Special teams, often overlooked, will also require attention, particularly with players like Jordan Stout demonstrating the impact a reliable punter can have on field position and overall game flow. Every addition or subtraction carries significant consequences, making the offseason one of the most critical periods in the franchise's calendar. Financial considerations, particularly round contracts and salary cap management, will continue to shape the Ravens' decisions. The balance between rewarding elite performers and maintaining flexibility for the broader roster is delicate. Zay Flowers' fifth-year option is a prime example of how performance, recognition, and contractual structures intersect. Fully guaranteeing his option at $28 million signals the value the team places on his contribution. But it also forces the Ravens to be strategic about allocating resources for other positions. Similarly, evaluating potential extensions for players like Kyle Hamilton and assessing the long-term impact of Lamar Jackson's contract will require a nuanced approach that blends immediate competitive goals with long-term financial stability. The goal is not only to retain top talent, but to assemble a roster capable of sustained success and resilience against injuries, opponent adjustments, and the inherent unpredictability of the NFL. Amidst all of this, the cultural and psychological aspects of the team cannot be ignored. A season filled with highs and lows, where moments of brilliance are followed by frustrating losses, has tested the resolve of both players and coaches. Maintaining focus, motivation, and confidence will be central to the off-season strategy. Leadership within the locker room, veteran presence, and fostering a mindset of accountability and execution will play a critical role in preparing the team for the challenges of the next season. The Ravens' identity, built on toughness and competitiveness, must be reinforced not only through tactical and personnel decisions, but also through cultivating a mindset where players understand their roles, responsibilities, and the standards required to succeed at the highest level. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens, and hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. Chaos seems to be brewing in Baltimore, and the center of it might just be the Ravens locker room. Sources close to the team hint at an unprecedented internal conflict that could shake the very foundation of John Harbaugh's squad. The head coach, known for his composed demeanor and steady hand on the sidelines, is reportedly on the brink of losing control, and insiders say tensions are reaching a boiling point. According to whispers within the organization, Harbaugh was recently overheard expressing frustration in unusually stark terms, suggesting that to unnamed players are contaminating the locker room environment. While specifics remain murky, the implication is clear: these individuals are allegedly causing significant disruption, affecting team morale, focus, and possibly even the preparation leading up to upcoming games. The coach's purported response has raised eyebrows. Phrases like "I will eliminate both" have been circulating, fueling speculation that major roster decisions could be imminent. Whether this means benching, suspension, or even trade talks, nobody seems willing to confirm. Fans and analysts alike are now left to piece together a narrative from fragmentary information. The identities of the players remain a mystery, though the rumor mill suggests that they could be central figure starters or veterans whose influence in the locker room has been under scrutiny for weeks. The impact on team dynamics could be enormous. The Ravens' cohesion has been widely praised, and any fracture at this level might ripple across both offensive and defensive units. Media chatter has intensified as insiders hint at a reckoning within the franchise. Harbaugh's leadership style, normally measured and strategic, is reportedly being tested like never before, and the stakes could not be higher. If these whispers prove true, the consequences might extend far beyond just the field, potentially affecting team chemistry, locker room culture, and even the trajectory of the season. Until official statements arrive, the NFL world watches with bated breath, speculating on the fallout of a story that, if accurate, could redefine the Ravens' internal narrative. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.